Thanks again for joining us. Local cities are busy preparing for the state's legalization of recreational marijuana. There's just one big unknown. It's uncertain when marijuana products will start being sold. This week, the cities of Golden Valley and Crystal approved zoning code changes for marijuana businesses and gave initial approval to registration requirements. Under the law, the state will control the licensing of marijuana businesses. Cities are relatively limited on what they can regulate, but they can control where they are located. For some city council members voting on regulations, it's a difficult topic to address.
For me personally, this is a very difficult issue to vote on because I personally am not supportive of the legalization of things that cause addiction and substance use disorder, and I think it is incredibly risky to have in our community.
There are currently lawsuits holding up the licensing process. Sales of marijuana products are supposed to begin in the coming year. A Brooklyn Park man will serve time in prison for his role in a fatal shooting. According to court documents, 23-year-old Marlon White pled guilty to manslaughter in the death of 20-year-old Khalid Blunt. He was shot and killed in 2022. White was sentenced to more than 2 years in prison and more than a year on supervised release. According to court documents, White brought a gun and his 2-year-old child to the victim's home. The gun discharged, hitting Blunt once in the chest. He later died in the hospital. A Crystal Park could soon receive some major improvements, one that includes a Veterans Memorial. The city says the current amenities at Twin Oaks Park are old and need to be replaced. In this video from 2022, the city tore down an old park building on that site. Plans call for a new play area, shelter, trails, basketball courts, and Veterans Memorial along Bass Lake Road. The overall project would cost more than $700,000, but nearly $250,000 of that would be funded by Hennepin County grants. Area volunteers are brightening the holidays for people with different abilities. I shared the Golden Valley drop-off that will go a long way.
Around the holiday season, the sound of moving boxes is a familiar tune. Here, it's coming in the form of van loads of toys, all delivered to Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute in Golden Valley.
Every year we tend to bring over 800 toys, somewhere between 800 and 1,000 depending on the number of toys.
There's plenty to go around, all courtesy of Minnesota Cummins manufacturers. Several who are taking part in this hand delivery, like Matt Ethan.
And so we have a wide variety of volunteers and engineers at Cummins who have lots of different skill sets, and they can bring their skill sets to what we're doing.
Those boxes all carried up to a room loaded with more boxes. And inside aren't just any toys. They're hand-adapted for kids with different abilities, like this guitar.
You can hit the switch to activate the toy just as you would up here or with any of these buttons.
Each toy is adapted in a different way, so kids with varying mobility challenges can play and learn. Courage Kenny occupational therapist Matthew White says these options are valuable.
I want to see people more independent, have fuller lives, and assistive technology can help that.
They're typically expensive, but in this case, come at no cost to families with many benefits.
They can activate that toy, and then from there, the impact is that they start learning cause and effect, which is a great skill to learn as you're growing up, or most importantly, they get to play.
Limitless impact, packed away in a cardboard box.
Cummins volunteers also create some adaptive items for adults. A 2020 Armstrong High School grad won a major singing competition earlier this fall with a big cash prize. It's one of many accolades that Sarah Schiff has received over the years. But as Delaney Cleveland found out, she's set her sights even higher.
Throughout Sarah Schiff's life, music has been a noteworthy presence. Yes, she can play the piano. But it's on stage where this Princeton University senior really shines, using the strength of her vocal cords.
Growing up, I wanted to go on American Idol or The Voice or one of those shows. I wanted to be on Broadway and do film and be in movies, and that led me to doing musical theater in middle school.
We first met Sarah in 2019 when she was a standout student at Armstrong High School. She had just won a state award for classical music as a junior.
These competitions that I'm doing are really helpful for me to see if I could end up making it, because it's a big risk as anyone going into any profession.
Today, she's still doing those competitions.
Sarah, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
In October, she came back to Minnesota to take part in an all-star reunion of the Minnesota Sings vocal competition. The competition put her up against a slew of other singers who've placed high during the 10-year history of the event.
I actually, after the first rehearsal, I asked them, hey, can I sing without a microphone? And they were like, why would you want to do that? Are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'll try that.
She used her powerful voice to belt out a piece from the opera La Bohème. The performance won her first place, which included a $10,000 prize.
They called my name and I was shocked. In that moment, I was like, whoa, wow, this money is going to make a really big difference.
She's certainly come a long way from her days at Armstrong, but she credits the Robbinsdale School District with her success.
The Robbinsdale School District has one of the best theater and choral programs in the state, and I know for the choral program, it's one of the best in the country.
She calls Armstrong a nurturing and artistic environment with teachers who cared. Teachers who helped her get to the level she's at today, performing with the likes of the Princeton University Orchestra.
And not every school has that, and that's something to be very grateful for.
Sarah will graduate from Princeton in the spring. She plans to use the prize money to apply for grad school programs for a master's in opera and classical voice.